Welcome. I'm Meredith Schrader, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 35th anniversary of the AQS Quilt Week, and tonight, the Quilters Gala and Awards presentation. We're so glad to have you all here. We really appreciate it. And this is the only quilt show where you get, as a public, to vote for the 7 top winners that will be awarded tonight. So I hope you all voted, and that your quilt, because any one of those quilts was certainly worthy to be best of show. So I hope you all voted. And before I go too far, I want to be sure and thank all of our sponsors who helped to make these awards possible. And of course, our national brand sponsor is Janome. And we really appreciate, wow. Oh. Wonderful. We have lots of Janome friends here. If you'll let me read the rest of them, and then we'll give them all a big hand at the end. We have AccuQuilt, America Patchwork and Quilting, APQS, Baby Lock Crown Jewel Tiara, Bernina Q Series, Brother, Elna, Gamel, Handy Quilter, Husqvarna Viking, Anova, Janome, Juki, Martelli, Bella by Martelli, Panasonic, Pfaff, Pro Stitcher, Quilt Path, Statler by Gamel, Superior Threads, and the Grace Company, and not least, Siesta Silver, who has provided our winning necklaces for the winners. So let's give them all a big hand. We have 28 states represented in the entries and 10 countries. Now, you U.S. state people's got to get on the ball. We can't let the international quilters beat us. Please, please, we want to do that. And before we present the awards tonight, we have a real treat with our speaker, who is a wonderful quilter. And if you don't believe it, go to the museum and see her exhibit. It is fabulous. She's also an author and designer. And we're so glad to have Victoria Findlay Wolfe with us tonight to present the awards and give a lecture.
Good evening, everybody. I really wanted to drive in here on my Harley. And then I thought, well, maybe that's not such a great idea. And then I thought, well, I'm going to walk over from the hotel. And I thought, well, maybe I should wear my biker boots. And I thought, it's 93 degrees outside. I ain't doing that either. And not even heels. You got me in flats tonight. And that doesn't happen very often. How are you guys? Y'all good? Yeah. All right. Did you spend all your money today? What a dumb question, huh? All right, we just need a second for the image to load here. Hoping we got that all turned on. Let's see here. We're waiting. Not that one. That's what I'm supposed to see. Let's see. Let's try this here again. Whew, there it is. There's nothing like audio-visual problems. Yeah. So have any of you gotten over to the museum yet? National Quilt Museum? Yes? Well, huge honor. Thank you very much for allowing me to have an exhibit over there. That's been a real treat and a half. First off, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Victoria Findlay Wolfe. I often get confused with Virginia Woolf. I answer to all of the above. As long as it starts with a V, I'm pretty good with that. That's all right. The exhibit that I have at the museum is called Playing with Purpose. I have been spending the last couple of years a lot of time looking all the way back at all the quilts that I've made over the years. So I've been quilting for my whole life, really, but really off and on for the past 35 years. So it's been a real treat to be able to look back over a huge body of work and kind of see where I've come from. So I've spent a lot of time. How many of you go back and think about that first quilt that you ever made? And now we have like award winners in the room. Like, think about all the stuff that you've made that got you to that point, or all the things that you're doing. So when I get people that come up to me and they say, well, I don't know if I can make a quilt like that. I'm like, all you got to do is just keep making quilts, right? Just keep making. And every time you make another one, the better that they get, right? So I thought it was really interesting because I teach a lot about process and creativity. And I found it really inspiring for myself to look back to go, look at where I started, acknowledge where I came from, acknowledge the really ugly quilts that I've made in my past. Anybody else out there made some ugly quilts? Yeah, look at all the hands. We got honest folks in the room too. I like that. And then looking to see, what kinds of things I do over and over and over again. When I think I'm trying to get outside of my own box and then I realize that I can look at my first quilt and see that I am still doing a square and a square and a square in some way, it's amazing that you really don't get that far out of your box. So it's really nice to look back at a big scope of your work to kind of see what kinds of things you did and where you're going and what else can you do. Because once you know what you have done, that gives you an opportunity to check that box off so that when you're walking around shopping and you're finding new things to try, you can go on and make another exciting quilt, right? Excellent. So I hope you guys get time to pop over to the exhibit at the museum sometime this week. Friday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to do a little walking tour of the exhibit. So if you're still in town, please come by. That will be really fun for me. And fun to be able to talk with you about quilts, because I don't have any problem standing up here and talking about quilts for 2 hours. In fact, I'll just show you the next 2 hours worth of slides of biking, like riding my Harley from Alaska to New York, and all the quilt shops I visited along the way. Is that good? No? Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. So looking back, never be ashamed of the first quilt you made. How many of you still have these fabrics in your stash? You can probably tell what year I made that just by looking at those fabrics. And not to be deceived, this is only like 30 inches. So, I know. It looks ginormous, but it's not. But you got to start somewhere, okay? So my inspiration has always been my grandmother and her fabulous crazy quilt kind of things that she made with double knit polyester. Are there any double knit polyester quilts in the show this year for winners? No? None? We all need a challenge. Just wait for the day when double knit shows back up on the awards wall. I'm working on it. All right. How about perfect quilts? How many of you make perfect quilts? Anybody? There's always one. Somebody is secretly, there it is. I knew it. There's always one. This is my quilt that says, I am not perfect, and that is okay. There's no perfect quilts. You just keep making them, and they just get better and better. So just keep making it. So this is just a few glimpses at some of the quilts that I've jumped from, starting with this beauty and getting through to where that journey has taken me, and some of these pieces you'll see in the exhibit hanging over at the museum. One of the things that I found interesting, though, is finding moments in my creative journey to see where I may have started an idea and then kind of forgotten about. So when I was in college and art school back in the 90s, I made a couple quilts. And one of my professors took me out in the hallway, and he says, that's craft, that's not art, it doesn't belong here. And so I stopped making quilts. I know, gasp, right? Yeah, so I stopped making quilts. So there was a big gap in my career of making quilts. Until now, when I've gone back this last 2 years, really looking back at the work that I have done, I went kind of back and looked at where I had started and where I had kind of stalled to see, well, gosh, is there something I could do with that now? And so this is some of my new work that's coming back, where I'm making a connection to kind of where I stalled out by that sort of a comment that can make. But that should never deter you, because generally, if someone tells me no, guess what happens? I'll show you otherwise, right? So I'm having a lot of fun sort of revisioning kind of ideas and things that I was working on back when I was in college and making them come back alive. Funny enough, I stood in front of this at another show and someone said, "Who is that?" Really? Oh. Try not to spill the water all over myself. Okay, so why, though? What's the purpose? Playing with purpose. Why do we make quilts? Why do we enjoy it? Do we enjoy it? Sometimes. Sometimes, exactly. Well, I spent a lot of time thinking about that. Like, what is the purpose? Well, for me, I know that I'm a creative starter junkie. Anybody else in the room? Oh my God, stars, hexagons, double wedding rings, oh my God, hand quilting, pineapples. I mean, we do it because it's fun, right? Really? We're here, we do it because why? It's fun! Or you need to get a new hobby, people. Right? If it's not fun, you need to go bake or golf or something. Take a walk. No, it's fun. That's why we're here. It should be a good time. But I have a lot of other reasons why I like to make quilts. One is for tradition. I like making connections to my family. We have a family sick quilt that's been passed around. If someone's sick, you got to sleep under the special quilt. So this is my new special quilt because the other one is 50-some years old and it's worn out. So this is my new one, which I made quite a long time ago. Okay. I also make quilts to tell my story as a storyteller. Do you guys consider yourself storytellers? Every quilt you make, you're putting a story in that quilt, whether you think about it that way or not, right? I make quilts to cry. Anybody make quilts for healing, right? Quilting is like therapy. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel good. It's fine to be sad. You can throw fabric at the wall and see what sticks. To honor somebody. This is a combination of if my grandmother and I had ever been able to make a quilt together, and to remember friends that have passed. I make quilts to make myself smile and hopefully make you smile. I don't have to tell you what they are, but you feel good just by thinking about it, right? I make quilts to bring new babies into this world. I make quilts for people to feel better. Perhaps they're not feeling well. Honestly, I make quilts to get hugs. Because quilts are actually hugs, aren't they? They're wrapping you, they're comforting you. It gives me joy to give them a quilt. They get joy by receiving the quilt. We won't talk about whether or not they're quilt-worthy. I hear those stories all the time. I gave them a quilt. We know where that goes. But would you like to know what the best quilt is that I think? The one that gets completely worn out and it gets handed back to you multiple times for you to mend it and put it back together so that it can fall apart again. And to me, quilt making is joy. That's what I get out of it. Whether I'm giving one, making one, all of that, it's all good. It's all joy. Okay? Anybody relate to that? Yes? Can we agree? Quilts are joy? Yay! Excellent. All righty. I think we're here to talk about some winners who are also going to have some joy tonight by getting their goodies, right? So I was told that I have to remind you that if you're here and you won an award, you need to come up on stage. Because if you don't, it's all mine. No? I'm going to try. I've got to try. What else am I going to do? All right. So do we need to disconnect this? I see him running to the back there. We'll let this close, and we'll start this show. All right. Yeah. Come up to the front here. Okay, so just come up to the table here at the front if your name has been called. All right. Glasses, microphone ready. Welcome to the AQS Fall Paducah QuiltWeek Award presentation, and we welcome those of you who are watching live on Facebook. Everybody give them a wave. Hello out there. on AQS Online and the AQS YouTube channel, Quilt TV. It is with great pride that we now announce the winners of the 2019 AQS Fall Paducah QuiltWeek contest. Let's start with the Judges Recognitions Awards, sponsored by Panasonic Cordless Irons. The quilt recognized by Judge Gail Garber is Lace by Antonia Herring of the Netherlands. This is a beautiful quilt with incredible attention to detail. The colors pop on the gray background, and the lace insets and cut work are beautifully done. Stunning quilt. The next quilt is recognized by Judge Katie Pasquini Mazapust. Her quilt was chose Harmony by Cristina Arsenigu Bano of Spain. Yay! Katie chose Harmony because of the peaceful serenity of the subject, a peaceful little girl writing a new story. The stitching was excellent, bringing the wood floor to reality. Her fun hair pulled into pigtails and her sassy red dot dress. Katie said, "This piece just made my heart sing." Cute. The next quilt recognized by Judge Cindy Needham is Andesine by Andrea Strack of Germany. Cindy stated, "This beautiful quilt spoke to me and drew me in with the beautiful designs that were so perfectly executed with tiny hand-quilted stitches. My passion in quilting in linen whole cloth quilts, and I love and appreciate Andrea's attention to detail. Very well done, and congratulations on this amazing piece." Congratulations to the Judges' Choice winners. The next category is wall quilts, art quilts, sponsored by Bernina of America. The third place award is Canyon Number 1 by Carol Breyer Fallert of Port Townsend, Washington. Carol tried to capture the drama that one feels upon seeing Antelope Canyon for the first time. Techniques include digital fabric printing, inking, fabric painting, thread painting, and quilting on a stationary machine. The second place award is Moments by Peggy Brown of Nashville, Indiana. Peggy's quilt is hand-quilted with transparent watercolor. The dark band across the bottom is composed of digital transfers from one of Peggy's original watercolor paintings on paper. Techniques fused applique, collage, fabric painting, photo transfer, and quilting on a stationary frame. Okay. And the first place award is Cat Under the Stars by Chi Chen Wen of Taiwan. It's a stunning deception. It's not a deception. Stunning depiction of a cat eyeing the starry night. Amazing use of color and fabric. Techniques fused applique and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts art quilt category. The wall quilts, flora and or fauna category, sponsored by American Patchwork and Quilting magazine. The third place award is Buttermilk and Blue Skies by Karen Grover of Rockford, Illinois. Inspired by the Imaginary Garden pattern by Yoko Sato from 2017 Quiltmania, the background is an upcycled denim and vintage shirtings. Techniques include hand applique, hand embroidery, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary frame. Second place award is Jewel Beetle by Esther Tronchoni of Spain. A photo by Levan Biss was an inspiration for this beautiful little insect. Techniques are fused in machine applique and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. And the first place award is Do You See What I See by Lisa Bellinger of Canada. This quilt is a lovely tribute to a little fox who needed help and that stayed in Lisa's yard during the summer. The techniques are fused applique, hand dyeing, trapunto, free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts, flora and fauna category. I'm making sure to take a good look because I'm working the whole week, so I gotta see these quilts. Wall quilts, modern category, sponsored by Quilt Path by APQS. The third place award is Blue Windows by Jennifer Emery of Arlington, Virginia. Jennifer's quilt is a study of color and value using blue fabrics and squares, machine pieced and hand quilted. The second place award is United by Inger Blood of Camino, California. All shapes in this quilt are individually cut to ensure that each one is different, as are all people in the world. Techniques include machine applique, inking, matchstick quilting, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. And the first place award, Mesmerizing by Jody Robinson of Enon Valley, Pennsylvania. Jody made this quilt for a guild challenge. She wanted to give the illusion of depth with the quilting, so the spirals appear to be above the background. Techniques are machine applique, free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts in the modern category. So far, I'm collecting a lot of prizes up here. All right, the wall quilts pictorial category, sponsored by Pro Stitcher. The third place award is Bringing Down the House by Jan Hutchinson of Sedgwick, Kansas. Jan's inspiration for this fun quilt was a drawing she did while she was in high school many moons ago. Techniques include machine applique, fabric painting, and freehand quilting on her Innova longarm machine. The second place award is Gossiping Ducks and a Hungry Tiger by Linda Anderson of La Mesa, California. These three men are part of the Tang Dynasty percussion group. They act out the exchange of sounds between chatting ducks and a growling tiger, hoping for his next meal. Techniques are fused and machine applique, fabric painting, free motion quilting on a stationary machine. And the first place award is Acadia's Own Cobblestone Bridge by Barbara Benota of Island Falls, Maine. Barbara's quilt is a realistic rendering in fabric and thread of this iconic cobblestone bridge and its natural surrounding in Maine's Acadia National Park. Techniques include fused and machine applique, dimensional work, free motion embroidery, thread painting, photo transfer, shadowing, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts in the pictorial category. I can tell how many of you have seen some of these quilts and were thinking, I bet that's going to be a winner. I can tell just by how you, woo, nah. It's very good. I like that excitement. Okay, wall quilts. First entry in an AQS Paducah Quilt Contest category, sponsored by Juki America. You know why you need to make quilts, right? Because you need to enter them into quilt shows. Because otherwise, what are we going to do with all our free time? Okay, we need you guys entering quilts and shows. That way we got quilts to go and look at and ooh and ah over. Exactly. All right, third place award, Steering by the Stars by Peter Hayward from Spain. Op art meets the mariner's compass by way of interwoven strips of fused fabric and touches of tulle in this amazing quilt. Techniques are fused and machine applique and quilting on a stationary machine. The second place award is to Kansas City Star Block of the Month 2013, resized and revised by Deb Ellsworth of Lawrence, Kansas. Design source is Rubies, Diamonds, and Garnets 2, the 2013 Block of the Month by Bernadette Kent of the Kansas City Star, and Double Feathered Star by Marsha McCluskey. Feathered Star Productions. Deb redrafted 8 of the original blocks, added 4 blocks of her own, and changed the cornerstones from the original. Techniques include machine applique, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. And the first place award for this category is Braveheart by Linda Anderson of La Mesa, California. Linda saw a Tang Dynasty dance performance and was impressed with the powerful presence of the warrior. She created this quilt to tell his story of courage. Techniques are fused and machine applique, fabric painting, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts in a first entry into an AQS Paducah contest category. The Wall Quilts Peace Quilts category, sponsored by Elna USA. The third place award is a Multifaceted by Loretta Painter of Norris, Tennessee. Ooh, yay, she's here! Loretta has made several quilts using this shape and is always thinking about the next one. Techniques are foundation piecing, machine piecing, and quilting on a stationary machine. Well, that was exciting. The second place award goes to Peacock of Akimi Sujiyama of Japan. Various materials such as cotton, velvet, old Japanese fabric, as well as Thai silk were used to create this amazing quilt. Applique, embroidery, piecing, trapunto, and quilting, and all done by hand. And the first place award goes to Antelope Canyon Mosaic by Kimberly Lacey of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Wow. The amazing Slot Canyon in northwest Arizona blazes into amazing colors at different times of the day. Kimberly's quilt is an abstract interpretation of the colors of the canyon. Techniques are fabric painting, freestyle piecing, machine piecing, free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilts Pieced Quilts category. The next category is Wall Quilts Embellished Quilts category, sponsored by Bernina of America Q Series Long Arm. The third place award is Kaleidoscope Maze by Michelle Lee of Oxford, Ohio. Michelle used Paula Nadel Stern's fussy cut technique to create a mandala kaleidoscope radiating pattern embellished with approximately 5,020 beads and crystals and 414 karat gold charlottes. Additional techniques fused in machine applique, hand embroidery, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Okay. The second place award goes to Upcycle Cat, Ann Horton, Redwood Valley, California. This sassy cat is collecting embellishments for her art quilts, recycled fabric from clothing, items from Ann's stash and button box, and pieces of her 94-year-old mother's dotted Swiss blouse. Techniques, machine applique, decorative stitching, embellishments, free motion embroidery, fabric painting, thread painting, machine piecing, piped edging, thread sketching, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. I can't get my dog to go gather supplies for me. All she does is chew on the edge of my quilts, so she's got a lucky cat there. The first place award goes to Golden by Peggy Brown of Nashville, Indiana. Golden is an original design embellished with gold leaf and hand painting. The design includes some digital transfers from Perry's original watercolor paintings on paper. Techniques are fused applique, collage, digital fabric printing, fabric painting, photo transfer, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Wall Quilts Embellished Quilts category. Next up is the Wall Quilts Applique Quilts category, sponsored by AccuQuilt. The third place award is Garden Rhapsody by Larry Stokes of Meridian, Indiana. That would be Idaho, not Indiana. ID is Idaho. Got it. Larry said she used almost every technique in the art of elegant hand embroidery, embellishment, and applique by Janice Vane from Landauer, quilted on a movable machine. The second place award, The Squirrel's Christmas by Karen Turnbull of Laguna Niguel, California. This whimsical quilt depicts a family of squirrels enjoying the holidays. Techniques are fused to machine applique, shadowing, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. The first place award is Balam, which means jaguar, Georgia Spalding Pierce of Seattle, Washington. The central panel of this quilt is based on a line drawing by Linda Shield of Mexico. Georgia used colors consistent with those in existing Mayan wall paintings. Techniques are hand applique, hand embroidery, machine piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the wall quilts in the applique quilts category. Next up is the Large Quilts, Hand-Quilted Quilts category, sponsored by Martelli Enterprises. The third place award is The End of the Rainy Season by Akiko Matsumura of Japan. This quilt represents a quiet pond, a ray of sunlight through the clouds on water and lilies at the end of the rainy season. Techniques are hand applique, beading, decorative stitching, hand embroidery, and hand quilting. The second place award goes to When Everyone's Heart Blooms by Masako Sanada of Japan. Kimono fabric with modestly sparkling beads creates colorful floral mandalas on this hand-quilted quilt. Other techniques of hand applique, beading, machine piecing, and hand piecing. And the first place award goes to Flower Rondo by Chinami Terai of Japan. Chinami used mole yarn and velveteen to create this charming mimosa and rose flowers. Techniques include applique, hand applique, hand embroidery, piped edging, and of course, stunning hand quilting. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilts in the hand quilted category. Large Quilts, Quilter's Choice category, sponsored by Statler by Gamble. The third place award is Ocean by Sarah Bradshaw and Danielle Johnson of Spencer, Tennessee. Their quilt combines raw edge reverse applique and big stitch quilting to maximize the texture. Threads and frayed edges were left after washing to give this quilt an unruly, natural feel. Techniques are machine applique, machine piecing, hand quilting, and machine quilting on a movable machine. The second place award is My Everlasting Rosy Garden by Janet Cochran. Yay! Design source is the Old English Medallion Quilts Cranberry Album. The New Impressions, The Women by Jean Kimball, and Jean Kimball's Foxglove Cottage, The England and Back Pattern by Cindy Vermillion, and techniques are hand applique, broderie purse, hand embroidery, English paper piecing, machine piecing, free motion quilting by Paige Johnson on a movable machine, computer-aided, computer-assisted stitch software. Beautiful. And the first place award for this category is Oakhampton by Barbara Oder of Fort Morgan, Colorado. Yay! The medallion layout incorporates a large circular star, tiny hexagons, clamshells, and half-square triangles for the borders. Techniques are hand applique, English paper piecing, hand piecing, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a movable machine, computer-aided and computer-assisted stitch software. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilts in the Quilter's Choice category. The Large Quilts Pictorial category is sponsored by Superior Threads. The third place award is Northern White Rhinoceros by Corinne Yarbrough of Carlsbad, California. Corinne made this quilt of a male northern white rhinoceros for her nephew using machine applique, quilted on a movable machine. The second place award is for Monstrous Attacker by Yannick de Vries Bodzinger, the Netherlands. In Yannick's quilt, a surrealist attacker hides amongst the kelp forest of the ocean and devours almost everything. Techniques are applique, machine applique, machine embroidery, free motion embroidery, and a quilting by hand on a stationary machine. And the first place award is Blessed by Ann Horton of Redwood Valley, California. After a day of dyeing indigo fabrics, Anne paired the results with intricate machine embroidery of Victorian-era flowers and bird cages. The piece blocks add movement as they spin throughout the work. Congratulations to all the winners of the Large Quilts Pictorial category. Large Quilts, first entry in an AQS Paducah Quilt Contest category sponsored by Brother International. The third place award is Formal Attire by Susan Dushensky of Mamaroneck, New York. Go New York. Susan used anthology batiks to create her quilt using the vintage rose pattern by Judy and Bradley Niemeyer of quiltworks.com. Techniques include paper and machine piecing, quilted by Carrie Barone on a movable machine with computer-assisted stitch software. The second place award is Flying High by Martha Sivitz Baltram of Buckeye, Arizona. Martha's original design was inspired by the many birds that fly around her house and make their nests in her garden. She included high-flying birds, bees, and ladybugs to round out the theme. Techniques are fused and machine applique, beading, decorative stitching, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. The first place award is The Whimsical Wonders by C. Roseberry of Valrico, Florida. It says multiple colors were used to accentuate the primary pink and create an illustration that provokes warmth, love, and simplicity of life. The design pattern source is from Focus on Applique by Irene Blank of Quiltmania 2015, quilted by Julia Quiltoff. Techniques, applique, hand applique, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Large Quilts first entry in an AQS Paducah Quilt Contest category. Large Quilts, Pieced Quilts category, sponsored by Handy Quilter. The third place award is Friendship Remembered by Diane Lowe, Burlington, Washington. Diane was inspired by a friend's love of one-block wonders while attending a quilt retreat together. Techniques are fused to machine applique, machine piecing, free motion quilting on a movable machine, and quilted by Patricia Heckler. The second place award is Lakeshore Sunrise by Phyllis Markham and Terry Markham of Colorado Springs, Colorado. Phyllis and Terry started with the quilt pattern Lakeshore Sunrise by Judy and Bradley Niemeyer of quiltworks.com, and they designed their own borders to make a larger quilt. Techniques are paper piecing, machine piecing, and free motion quilting on a movable machine and computer aided. And the first place award is Christmas Poppies by Linda Fleschner of North Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Linda's beautiful quilt features a green and red center surrounded by an original black and white fan variation. She heavily quilted the red border and added an outer border of individual prairie points and poppies. Techniques are hand applique, paper piecing, machine piecing, matchstick quilting, and free motion quilting on a movable machine with a computer-assisted stitch software. Congratulations to all the winners of the Large Quilts, Pieced Quilts category. Large Quilts, Embellished Quilts category sponsored by Husqvarna Viking. The third place award goes to Christmas in St. Andrews by Marilyn Badger and Claudia Clark Myers of St. George, Utah. This is Marilyn's first Christmas quilt in 45 years of quilt making. Marilyn, oh, girl, we gotta talk. I am a Christmas quilt junkie. Got it. Marilyn pieced, quilted, and embellished while Claudia provided the design and most of the fabrics. Techniques are fused to machine applique, beading, couching, crystals, embellishments, hand embroidery, fabric painting, paper piecing, machine piecing, and piped edging. I'll take that one home. Yep. I'll take them all home. What am I saying? Second place award, Lessons on Botany and Entomology by Ann Horton of Redwood Valley, California. Lavish machine embroidery and thread work were painted with Ann's 40-year-old stash of fabrics to create a lesson plan for the science of nature. The alphabet is finished with a border of scientific names that Ann said were lovely to spell. Techniques are machine applique, embellishments, digitized embroidery, free motion embroidery, improvisational piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. And the first place award is for Zulu by Betty Kent New of Stillwell, Oklahoma. Yay, she's here! I like having fun. You gotta put your hands up. Zulu was inspired from a collection of odd sale fabrics. The animals determine the theme and the search for African symbols and designs. Techniques are fused to machine applique, broderie purse, couching, fabric painting, paper piecing, machine piecing, piped edging, hand embroidery, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to all the winners of the Large Quilts, Embellished Quilts categories. The Large Quilts Appliqued Quilts category is sponsored by FOF. And the third place award is Birds and Roses by Larry Stokes of Meridian, Idaho. ID is Idaho. Got it right that time. Larry left this project boxed up and unfinished for 8 years and then decided to have, hands up, peeps, yep. And then decided it had to be finished because so much work had already gone into it. Her pattern source is Birds and Roses by Margaret Daugherty at American Quilter Society. This beauty is hand appliqued and quilted on a movable machine, and we're happy she finished it. Yeah. The second place award, Don't Eat the Red Berries by Catherine Jones of Australia. Catherine randomly placed applique mandalas made from oak-shot cottons on a linen background and quilted with contrasting threads to add details. Techniques are hand applique, machine applique, bias work, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. The first place award is Twilight Garden by Linda Hercha and Lisa Bonjean of Homer, Michigan. Wool hand applique and embroidery are beautifully set on a flannel background and backing. The free motion quilting highlights each block, center medallion, and applique border. Congratulations to all the winners of the large quilts, applique quilts category. Next up, we have the top award winners as voted by all of you. Yay! Are you ready? All right. Martelli Enterprises' 5th place overall goes to Walt Whitman by Leanne Schellenberg of Walla Walla, Washington. Leanne admired this Library of Congress public domain photograph by George Cox from 1887, for many years prior to attempting to recreate the photo in fabric. It is a study in black and white. Leanne used the applique technique, and quilting was done on a movable machine by Teresa Silva. Congratulations to the winner of the Martelli Enterprises 5th place overall award. The APQS 4th place overall award goes to At the Junction by Marla Varner of Sequim, Washington. Marla's original design is composed of blocks made using a method taught by Sujata Shah. Creating the flow of color provided an intriguing challenge. Techniques are matchstick quilting on a stationary machine, improvisational piecing, and machine piecing. Congratulations to the winner of this APQS 4th place overall award. Third, and over 3rd place overall award goes to Ukpik by Colette Dumont of Canada. Yay! Utpik means snowy owl in an Inuit language. Fabric shrinking the thread-painted center medallion achieved the small 3D effect in the quilting. Design source is Snowy Owl by Gills. Oh, you're going to get me on that one. Archibald? That's a tough one. Techniques use hand and machine applique, beading, bias work, couching, embellishments, digitized embroidery, free motion embroidery, fabric painting, thread painting, machine piecing, trapunto, and free motion quilting on both stationary and movable quilting machines. Congratulations to the winner of the Innova 3rd place overall award. It's fun when you guys are here. I love it. Thank you for being here. Yes, kissed your wife. I saw that. The AQS 2nd place overall award goes to Magnificent Millie by Mary Olson of Almsville, Oregon. Yay! Mary made this quilt as a tribute to her grandmother, Mildred Jackson, using colors to represent her strength and love of reds, friendships of yellow, encouragement in oranges, and calming presence in blues. Techniques are fused applique, machined applique, couching, crystals, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to the winner of the AQS 2nd place overall award. And the Baby Lock USA First Place Overall Award goes to Finding Light in the Darkness by Terry L. Shern of Henniker, New Hampshire. She says, being a 2-time cancer survivor, Terry found that there were many times where she had to look within to find the light. Metallic threads were used to make the quilt shine bright in the light. Wonderfil's Dazzle 8-weight thread added the right color and shine for all the couching. Additional techniques for paper piecing, piped edging, inking, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to the winner of the Baby Lock USA First Place Overall Award. And the Gamble Quilting Machine's Best Wall Quilt Award goes to Blue Anemone by Andrea Brokenshire of Round Rock, Texas. Andrea wanted to represent the perfection of the natural world with the vibrant colors displayed within the Blue Anemone poppy. Techniques are fabric painting, thread painting, and free motion quilting on a stationary machine. Congratulations to the winner of the Gamble Quilting Machine Best Wall Quilt Award. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. You've been waiting all night for all these good things. The Best to Show Award is sponsored by Janome America. You picked for the Janome America Best to Show winner for the 2019 AQS Fall Paducah QuiltWeek contest is Diamond Effervescence by Beth Nuffer and Clem Busnick of Brookings, Oregon. Silk fabric and a sateen background combine a stunning quilt. Techniques are hand applique, interfacing, paper piecing, machine piecing, piped edging, and free motion quilting on a movable machine. Congratulations to Beth and Clem, winners of the Janome America Best to Show Award for Fall Paducah 2019. Yay! This concludes the awards presentation for this evening, and we hope that you've enjoyed the stunning quilts. Hopefully you've already seen some of those this week. If not, make sure to go look them up. I'm going to be trying to sneak a few minutes here and there. And a special thank you to everyone for making this evening and the past 35 years so exciting. And good night, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the Quilt Week.